All right, good evening, everyone. It has been quite the active weather day around parts of North Texas, not really in the Metroplex per se, but especially in Northwest Texas and Oklahoma. And you can barely see that tornado watch. We're going to go into that in just a second. So, the last couple of days, well, really since Wednesday night, Thursday morning, we've had quite the active weather pattern, especially after our extended dry period. So, we are going to go into, or probably already are in an active period. So get ready for that. Okay, so before I get started, I want to thank my lovely sponsors, Ballard Boutique and Bakery in Wiley, A-Man Plumbing in Saxe, Bacon Roofing and Rockwall. Thank you guys for helping make this live stream happen. So if you need any of those services, please don't hesitate to go visit them. All right, so let's talk about tonight, and then we'll talk about tomorrow, which is the main reason I'm on. And if you have any questions, whether you're on Instagram or other channels, just shoot them in the chat, and I will try to answer them before we sign off. So this is current radar, and as you can see, most of the activity is northwest of Dallas Fort Worth, and we'll put this in motion. And as you can see, once it goes into motion, well, if I can get it to work, northeast movement. So this activity, at least activity currently out northwest of Dallas Fort Worth, is not going to come into the Metroplex anytime soon. Do see some isolated showers and thunderstorms just off to the northeast. Those are headed up into Oklahoma. And once they cross the Red River, they may actually start misbehaving. So, but we shouldn't have to worry about those guys. What we do have to worry about, however, is tomorrow. And let me stop this radar here. And before we do that, we'll kind of scoot up in here into Oklahoma. Not as many, I don't think we have any tornado warnings anymore. Nope. Matter of fact, we don't even have any severe thunderstorm warnings, just flash flood warnings. So that's really calmed down quite a bit. Earlier we had, I don't know, we had a lot of confirmed tornadoes, but we definitely had a lot of radar indicated tornadoes. Hello, Mr. Phillips. Hope you're doing well, sir. So it's really calmed down a little bit. However, it's not going to be calm for long. So that's up in Oklahoma. So if you have relatives up in Oklahoma, just make them aware that it could be a little rougher for them later this evening. It's been rough for them last couple of days. Last night especially unfortunately had a couple of EF3, EF4 tornadoes south and east of Oklahoma City. So that was not good. But okay, so you can see on this radar the different color shading. So the yellow is slight risk, that orange tinge, if you will, north of Denton, that's enhanced risk. And then the greenish color is marginal risk. That's the current risk categories. We're going to talk about the risk categories for tomorrow here in just a second. Matter of fact, we'll just go ahead and do that right now. All right, so this is kind of the setup for tomorrow. This is really I wouldn't say classic, but just, I will say hi to Mr. Renault. Thank you, sir. This is, I don't know if it's a classic spring setup, but it's pretty close. So you can see that brown line on the map. That's a dry line. So we're going to have a dry line cold front combo, as I like to call it, move through tomorrow afternoon, probably earlier in the afternoon than usual. So sometimes we get these setups that move through after 5, 6 o'clock. I don't know that would be the case this time around. Probably a little earlier than that, although not much earlier. These systems can get real finicky. Sometimes they could slow down. Sometimes they could speed up. But right now, we're looking at the early to mid-afternoon. So what can we be on the lookout for? So you can see in that dashed yellow area, that's the greatest potential for tornadoes and wind gusts greater than 60 miles an hour. Hail is also a possibility. It's not quite like it would be in the springtime, but it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. And so it is something that we definitely want to watch. And so what the main hazards tomorrow in as far as probability of happening. Now remember, the three main severe weather hazards are tornadoes, hail, and winds greater than 58 miles an hour or 60 miles an hour to round up. So the greatest severe weather threat out of those three are the wind threat, the damaging wind gusts. Hail probably just a tick below that, and tornado about the same. Flooding rain's not quite as much of a possibility, especially since our ground has been so dry the last couple of months. But still, it's a possibility where we get a quick 1 or 2 inches of rain. So as far as timing goes, what we'll see is, as we can see in these shaded blue areas, if you're in area 1, which is basically anything west of Fort Worth, probably going to be an early start to the day, 9 a.m. to noon. Probably going to see some showers and thunderstorms. Maybe that line move through. I'm going to show you a model run here in just a second. And then area number 2, which is most of Dallas, Fort Worth, Collin, Denton counties, I-35 corridor, basically. Noon to 4. Could start as early as 10. Could end by as late as 6. I think right now, based on what the Weather Service is saying, 12 to 4 is probably a pretty good guess at this point. I say guess. It's definitely not just a guess. It's an educated guess. And then if you're in East Texas, could start as early as 2. 4 to 8 is the prime time, and then end by 10. This is just a severe weather threat. It's not necessarily the total rain probability. So with that, let's get into some severe weather specifics. So this is the current severe weather outlook that the Storm Prediction Center has put out for tomorrow. Now, this is going to change. They'll update this at 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to wait up for that. They'll update it again in probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And that's when we'll kind of have a better idea of what we can expect and the timing we can expect. But I don't think this is too far off. So you have an enhanced risk of severe weather basically from Dallas, just northeast part of Dallas, Fort Worth, and into Oklahoma. Slight risk in the yellow, which includes basically all North Texas. Marginal risk in the green. And the lightest green is just general thunderstorms. But let's break this down specifically by hazard. Tornado threat. So whenever you see this hatched area, that's when you can basically expect the possibility, anyway, of EF2 tornadoes. Now, I always say that with a little caution because it doesn't mean that we're going to even see an EF2 tornado, but there's a decent chance we might, and the conditions in the atmosphere are definitely favorable for that. So that's something that we're definitely going to watch. Now, most of that risk is northeast of Dallas-Fort Worth. So if you do know anybody that lives in the Parish area, maybe Sherman, they definitely need to be aware. But I don't think Dallas-Fort Worth is out of the woods totally, because if you look at the brown, we're in the 5% tornado risk, not EF2, but 5% in general. And the green extends all the way around us, the 2%. So again, I always like to remind people what these percentages mean. It's not literally a 5% chance you'll see a tornado or a 10% chance you'll see a tornado everywhere. It's the definition is, for example, if you're in the brown, that's a 5% tornado risk. So what that means is you have a 5% chance of seeing a tornado within 25 miles of a point, which I always make my point my house. So it's not 5% as a blanket coverage. So it's, but and then when you get into the yellow, it's 10%. But then when you get into the hatched areas, you get a 10% probability of seeing an EF2 or higher rated tornado within 25 miles of your point, anywhere within that hatched area. Now, again, that doesn't mean it's going to happen. It just means that it's a greater probability. Make that muggy air go away. That's Mr. Phillips' request. So here's what's funny about that. When this cold front comes through late Monday into Tuesday morning, it will dry us out a little bit, but it won't last very long. We're having another storm system come back on the Wednesday night, Thursday time frame, and so that muggy air is going to come right back. So it'll be a temporary reprieve. Wednesday will probably be pretty nice. Tuesday will be kind of cool and drier. Wednesday morning and afternoon might be the nicest part of this week, and then it's going to get back to warm and muggy. Not necessarily warm, but definitely muggy. So unfortunately, I can't fulfill that request. Sorry, Mr. Phillips. All right, so the other severe weather hazards we could look out for tomorrow. Like I said, hail is not the biggest threat compared to tornado, but it is a 15% chance of seeing hail, which again, severe hail. And severe hail, you may remember, is defined as 1 inch in diameter or greater. So you could see hail less than that in diameter, it just wouldn't necessarily be classified as severe. So that's the only thing this is gauging is the probability of severe hail, inch in diameter or greater. And then you get into the brown 5%, the yellow 15%, which of course includes all of Dallas, Fort Worth, and North Texas. Now again, 25 miles of a point, 5% chance of seeing that. I don't see, not that we couldn't see hail producing storms, I actually see the tornado and the wind threat being a greater concern tomorrow. And speaking of that, so here's a severe wind outlook. Now, again, goes by percentages. Now, you do see this red area, which is a 30% chance of seeing a severe wind gust, which again is defined as 58 miles an hour or greater. Yes, Miss McGinnis, no storms, please. Okay, I will. We need some rain, but I'll try to keep the storms out. Although I think it's gonna be a little stormy regardless. And then so again, 30% is for wind gust 58 miles an hour or greater, 25 within 25 miles of a point. 15% for the yellow and 5% for the brown. So again, much like the tornado threat, the highest probability of that is northeast of Dallas Fort Worth. So that's again, this is the current outlook for tomorrow. This is what they call the day 2 outlook. So they will update that tomorrow morning, or actually they'll update it after midnight. But then they'll update it again probably first thing in the morning at 7:30, 8 o'clock. And then we'll have a better idea what to expect. It probably won't be too dissimilar from this, but just my guess. Okay. We'll go back to the current radar. Again, everything is northwest of us. The area you see in red is a tornado watch. That's in Oklahoma, so no worries for us there. So what I am going to do, though, is I am going to show you probably 2 models. One is the HRRR, as we like to call it, and that stands for the high resolution rapid refresh. Say that very fast. And I think this is the most recent one. Oh, they're just updating. Okay, well, we'll go back one, though. It should be a whole lot different. So this is actually current. I'm going to run it through once, and then we'll slow it down. So this is current time. Actually, overnight, not much of a big deal. But then you see, we get into the day tomorrow, we see maybe even a couple lines of that showers and thunderstorms popping through. And so that's something we definitely want to watch out for. So I'm going to stop this and slow it down. So let's just kind of fast forward to, this is noon tomorrow for this one model. I'm going to show you a different model in just a second. Hey, Kara, are they going to move that enhanced risk over Dallas County? I hope not, but they could. I wouldn't be shocked if they did, to be quite honest with you. But right now they haven't, so I don't think we're not going to know that till tomorrow morning. Don't be shocked if they do, although don't be shocked if they don't. I'd say it's about 50-50. So this one model here shows what the radar could look like. Doesn't mean it's going to look like this, but what it could look like at noon tomorrow. And then just to kind of give you an idea how this model works, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, that's the first line. That's probably the actual dry line. And then here's 3 p.m., again, another line behind it, 4, 5 p.m., so maybe another line. And then 6, 7, and so forth and so on. And you may see some development back behind it as we get into 10 o'clock, 11, 12, midnight, Tuesday and so forth, early Tuesday morning. And then that's 4 a.m. Tuesday. That's about daybreak. Again, after about daybreak, it's all gone. So that's one model. Let's go to the North American model. And it's still updating, so let's see how far this goes. What's the latest frame? Oh, that's actually good. Okay, so let's run this. Again, the other one was HRRR. This is the North American model. And here we go. And so you can see same sort of thing. It really just has one line. And so we are going to stop this and back it up. So I can go a little bit. Okay, so remember the other model had a pretty solid line about noon. But this is noon on the North American model. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4. So kind of if this model verifies, it'd be prime time 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, so forth and so on. This model doesn't actually have a whole lot behind it like the HRRR did. But you kind of get the point, though, here is that there's not a whole lot of difference. Now, I just showed you 2 models. We can go through 50 of them, and they're going to be a little different, but you kind of get the gist. These are what we call convection allowing models, and those are most reliable in the short term. Not perfect, but those are the most reliable in the short term. And they, for the most part, they're pretty accurate. They're not perfect, but they're pretty close. So I think that's what you can kind of expect. That's why I wanted to show it, is because I think the big takeaway tonight is we will see some stormy weather. Probably, like I said, earliest would be 10, 11 o'clock in the morning starting. The latest would probably be, starting at 2, 3, 4. So basically, I would say noon to 4 would be a prime window where we could see severe weather. Now, again, even with the line, are we going to? Is everybody going to see severe weather? No, of course not. Will everybody see some rain? Probably. Will everybody see what I call "quote unquote" stormy weather? Probably, in some form or fashion. But not like I always like to say, not everybody will see the worst of the worst. All right, so this is back to the current radar right now, and again, you see these showers and thunderstorms northwest of Dallas Fort Worth, actually southwest of Wichita Falls, and we got a couple special weather statements on them. No severe thunderstorm warnings, although we had some earlier. It's like these storms have 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail by radar. I don't think they've been confirmed. Get rid of this. So again, you put this in motion, moving off to the northeast. So these storms, at least in the immediate future, won't affect us. But what we always have to watch out for in these scenarios is any development here or even down here. We haven't seen any, so I don't really expect that we will, but we could, and that's what if we had anything to worry about, that's what we would worry about. All right, so let me check my Instagram. How would this be on Instagram? How would this be compared to the storm that ended school? Hopefully, nothing even close. But I think it does have the potential to have some strong wind gusts in it. So, but I don't think we're going to see anything like that. And if we did see something, strong wind gusts, I don't think it'd be that duration, and it would be that widespread. So I hope that answers your question. All right, let's see. I don't know if there's anything else we need to show. I think I got all the questions in the chat, I think. At least I hope I did. Let's see. Check my Instagram here. Well, okay, that's the only one I saw. We'll keep the stream going just a few more minutes. If you're just joining us, shame on you. No, I'm just kidding. So just updating the severe weather chances for tomorrow. And as a matter of fact, for those I'll just go back over here real quick. So for those I'll just join us. So let me back up a couple slides here. Matter of fact, I'll just go to the beginning. Okay, so if you're just joining us, and I'll also use this as a recap. So tomorrow we will see some stormy weather. Not everybody will see the worst of the worst. But we have a dry line cold front that's going to move through sometime probably after noon, 4 p.m. Could see strong and severe thunderstorms along a line, as I showed you in the model earlier. The biggest threat is wind, although as you can see northeast of us is a bigger tornado threat. Hail's also a threat, not as big a threat, but it's not zero. Timing, again, if you're west of Dallas-Fort Worth, 9 to noon. Dallas-Fort Worth I-35 corridor would be 12 to 4. And then if you're east of Dallas-Fort Worth, 4 to 8. So that's the time frame we're looking at. And as far as the overall severe weather threat, the worst of the worst, hopefully not for anybody, but the chances are greater northeast of Dallas-Fort Worth, the enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms. Tornado risk is, as you can see, the hatched area, 10% chance of seeing an EF2 or greater. Don't know that we'll see any. Could see a few. Northeast. And remember, these lines are not exact. If you're close to that, you just definitely want to pay attention. Severe hail outlook, again, inch of diameter or greater, 15% chance within 25 miles of a point. And severe wind outlook, 30% chance in the red of seeing a gust of 58 miles an hour or greater within 25 miles of a point. Yellow is 15% and brown is 5. So there you go. All right. So one more look at the radar. I don't see a whole lot of other comments, or really no other comments, I should say. So the bottom line is this. This is current radar. The bottom line is this. Overnight, should be fairly quiet. We do have an unstable atmosphere above us, but thankfully we don't have a lot of triggers over us right now. The triggers you see northwest of us is just that, kind of triggering these showers and thunderstorms in this unstable environment. We don't have that right now, but that's moving our way. And that's basically what's going to move over our area tomorrow. Now, after tomorrow, we should start to be calmed down. So tomorrow evening, I should say, should start to calm down a little bit. Get this back to the regular mode here. There we go. And we'll put this in motion while we're wrapping this up. So we will have at least a potential anyway for a fairly stormy Monday. Not all day, but especially in the afternoon hours. And then after that, front moves through late Monday night, early Tuesday morning. We'll see everything calm down, and the sun will come back out on Tuesday. A little breezy early, nothing crazy. See some sunshine, cooler temperatures, probably in the 60s for the most part during the day and 50s at night. And then Wednesday, at least the first part of Wednesday, will probably be pretty nice. And then we'll get back into another stormy pattern with another storm system coming in on Thursday and Friday. So fun, fun, fun. We had a dry period forever, which was unfortunate because it got really dry. But now we're back into a typical late fall pattern where it's going to rain almost every other day. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. So welcome to the weather in Texas. Okay, so I don't see anything else in the chat. So as always, I will look for comments after the stream is over, which is going to be here in a few minutes. And then, if necessary, I'll come back on tomorrow and update everybody. And hopefully it won't be crazy, but, that's what I'm here for. I will update everybody the best I can if need arises. But like I said, the bottom line is this: overnight, nothing much to worry about. Tomorrow afternoon, I should say, will be a little different story. So, all right. So, yeah, I just issued a severe thunderstorm warning for. Let me get my mouse to work. Yeah, right there. So, but again, well west, so that's nothing to worry about. All right. So, hello, Charlie. Howdy, sir. All right, so that's going to wrap it up. Again, as I mentioned at the very beginning, thank you so much to our sponsors, Ballard Boutique and Bakery and Wiley, Amen Plumbing and Saxy, Bacon Roofing and Rockwell. I'm just going to say Rowlett. If you need those services, please give them a call. They help make the live stream possible. All right, so as always, I'm watching the weather so you don't have to. Hope everyone has a great evening, what's left of it. And just be weather aware tomorrow, and we'll be back with updates as necessary. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.